Holiday Adda, where we bring to you the stories of those who dared to dream. Today is a very special day on the Adda. We have a lovely, beautiful family, the Roys, with us today. Welcome everybody to Wealthapp Holiday Adda.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you all here today. So if I could just request all of you to one by one tell us a little bit about yourselves. Sir.
Basically, I am a electrical engineer from BHU, and then I was in production with Bajaj Electricals for about 5 years, and then I joined the Munich Reinsurance Company's Indian representative, New India Assurance. So New India was Tata's company. So we had a collaboration on engineering insurance with Munich. Yeah, so they were representing in India. Later on, Mr. Splitgerber, who had also fought the Second World War and was a prisoner of war when he was picked up from the submarine near UK, and then he joined again the Allianz Insurance, which is this Bajaj Allianz group. He was posted with his wife for 2 years in India to spread this engineering insurance, and I was his understudy in Bombay. And then after some time I was sent to UP, because UP had lot of sugar mills, oil mills, dal mills like that, to spread engineering insurance. So I came to Kanpur. I was there for 2 years. Then I went to Delhi, because to develop that, those were the days of planning commission, all the public sector steel plants, your various refineries, they came at that time. So to get that business of engineering insurance was very important for that. So I was looking after that, and that is how I got very much linked with the planning commission, power and public sector, and then Hindustan Steel. So all those things were coming up at that time. So I was in Delhi, and then in '74 I was sent to Germany. There I was trained for about 3.5 months by Munich Re, Allianz, and Allianz has a big testing laboratory. I was there, and then I was sent to British Engines. This is Royal Insurance Group in Manchester. So I was there in Manchester. Then I came back, and then I started going into the management. So in management, from engineering insurance to overall divisions, then regional manager, then general manager, then board member. And even today, New India, I have retired in 1998. They have opted me this year as a permanent director of New India Assurance, lifetime.
Amazing, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, such an inspirational journey. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We move on to ma'am. Ma'am, if you would like to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my life or my story is very simple. I come from a very simple, simple girl, and did my schooling, college, everything. I was a very good student throughout my academic career. In fact, the topper always. But we in those days, say another 30 years back, we were not tuned to that thinking process that you have to do so much good in your career and all. And I was working with Emirates Airlines, and I could have actually gone on with that. But suddenly, just one day, because of I gave up for the job and all that after marriage, to dedicate my time and my energy and my life to bring up my child. And my focus shifted from the career to the family and bringing up my family. And since my husband, he had his, he was growing up in his career those days, and he was into a transferable job. We were moving from one city to another. So looking after my son, getting him adjusted to the different boards like CBSE within India only, Delhi, Bombay, and Calcutta majorly. But getting adjusted and all that, that became my priority and my focus. And so I don't personally know much about this finance and all, but of course, I'm happy that I could be the support for my husband and my children and wherever they are. And I feel, at the same time, I would like to say that I feel happy for the women of today. They are very focused, they are managing the home front as well as their career, and they are doing great. I'm also learning from him now, my husband, that to make the decisions, to make your money grow, as what he says. So these things we have to be aware of and learning slowly.
So lovely to hear that now. We move on to Sir now.
Yeah. I'm Sudeep Roy. I'm basically just born in Calcutta. And thereafter I went to Delhi because my dad was in Delhi at that time. And then I've been born and brought up in Delhi. I had my schooling from DPS. I'm in fact the first batch of DPS Akepuram. DPS runs 2-3 schools of themselves. Today DPS is a name everywhere. But they run 3 schools in Delhi. Akepuram, Noida and Mathura Road. So I'm the first batch of Akepuram.
Wow.
And 84 pass out, and after that I did my college from Bombay University because my dad was in a transferable job, so I passed out my commerce and then I did my CFA, and then I had joined the Tatas as a graduate trainee. Then I joined Tatas in '88, so I had a long stint with Tata Motors Group. I had a 32-year stint with Tata Motors Group. In fact, I was one of their founder. You can say I was their founder members of creating their captive finance wing. Those days, captive finance wing was a very new concept. And auto manufacturers, there were not many of the auto manufacturers. There were certain, South-based South-based finance companies for the auto manufacturers. So none of the auto manufacturers had a captive finance wing. And Tatas were the first to set it up, the captive finance wing. So I was one of the founder members. When I say founder members, it means those days we didn't have the stripe cards. So we had a master register. The company was so small that the MD used to be the first name of the company and I used to be the end of the page. And the company used to end in that one page. So my employee code, in fact, let me tell you, today that captive finance wing is having 6,000 employees.
Wow.
My employee code is 20. So I had a 32-year stint.
One of the pioneers.
Pioneers, yeah. In fact, now I think there will be about 200 plus dealers of Tata Motors. I think out of the 200 plus dealers of Tata Motors, I think about 150 dealers have been instrumental in their, in their growth of business for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Because finance is a very important part of the auto sector.
Absolutely.
And no automobile sells without finance. So I've been with them. I grew up the ranks. I got married. I was a senior vice president at Bombay. So I was with them. Then of course, I have taken a golden handshake from them after 32 years. Then now I have my insurance. I do strategic consulting in various fields because of my experience and networking, starting from financial services and into insurance wings, into insurance sector, because I had set up the cross-sell business for my company also. So it's been a very memorable and a varied, diverse career. And I love driving. I'm passionate about cars.
Wow.
And I'm a long driver.
Lovely. We move on to you. One of the facts that I already know about you, I don't know if you'll talk about it or not, is that you happen to be a cat topper. So if you could tell us a little bit about that and anything else that you'd like to share.
Sure. So hi, I'm Shauradi. Again, of course, mom, dad and grandpa have given their introductions, but I again had a very peripatetic upbringing. So due to dad's transferable job, I've had a chance to shift through different cities and different schools, and that's a blessing in a way, because that's made me very adaptable to change and brought out certain implicit capabilities which I would not have maybe able to garner otherwise. So one of them, of course, being able to adapt, being able to take on new challenges, and the unknown, it doesn't seem like a challenge to me. That's one of the things which again helped me with CAT and ZAT as well. So I was a ZAT topper, went into Accelerate Jamshedpur, and I worked with, in my young professional career, I've had the privilege of working with Deloitte and currently with Reliance Industries as part of their people transformation team at the chairman's office.
So, Shoradip, my question to you would be, I mean, we heard from your grandpa and your dad, I mean, such inspirational journeys and stories, both of them. So, how does that impact you? Do you feel a kind of pressure, having to follow up after them?
Very valid question. While of course, for starters, it's incredible to have all three of them have Baba, Dada, Mom, as well as Thamba in the family, and I've learned a lot from each of them. So when you have such stalwarts in close proximity, what happens is you will learn a lot implicitly. As a kid, I remember when I used to, I was supposed to be studying in my room, and I would hear dad and grandpa, let's say, discuss some nuance in their office or in their work life. Knowingly, unknowingly, my attention would, transfer towards that direction, and I would be more engaged with that versus whatever I was playing or doing in my room. That, of course, is a big enabler, because today when I look at my workplace, my colleagues, how my team and my colleagues and my friends navigate the workplace, that's an incredible strength, because that is tacit knowledge which cannot be built, by reading a book or by observing a YouTube masterclass. Having said that, of course, it does add a lot of pressure, because you're stepping into massive shoes, and what they have maybe built over a generation or two, you are sometimes maybe expected to fall into those shoes from day one. So, which may be a challenge, especially when you're trying to create it on your own. But yeah, it's an inspiration, and I hope to continue the journey forward.
Lovely. So I would just open this question to all of you. All of us are here today sitting in the Wealthapp office. How did this name get associated with the Roy family? Anybody who would like to take this question?
Look, I had a dear friend in my colleagues, one Mr. Saurabh Mukherjee, and Saurabh and I, you have a lot of colleagues in the office, but emotionally and intellectually, you connect to few of them. And let me tell you, Saurabh was one of them, and I really miss him. He's no longer with us. Unfortunately, he left us before time. And Saurabh, and on one meeting, Saurabh introduced me to Shomujit. So when I met Shomujit, again that same thing happened. You meet so many people, but emotionally, intellectually, you connect very, very few. And Shomujit also connected very well. And when I saw Shomujit, and at that time I remember he had just started Wealthapp. So, he used to tell me what was his ABN AMRO journey and what all, and they used to discuss their ABN AMRO days in North, when Shaurav was there and he was there, and how did it, ABN AMRO, what all did they did, and when he went abroad, and what is this wealth piece? What happens in our day-to-day life, we are always into working. We are earning and earning. But we are not really thinking, how to make our, what we earn, further work on it. So what we would do, we would maximum make a fixed deposit, or put it in a savings bank account, or take a LIC policy. Let me tell you, these were the only three options I used to at least do. Even for my dad also.
Yeah, same.
RBI bonds.
Same.
RBI bonds and FDs were the way out. For the first time when Shomujit came to me, he opened a new kind of
Pandora's
world
box
to us. It was a new world to us, and he gave us a peep into that world. And I would appreciate Shomujit for one thing, that it's not that he gave me a peep and he pushed me to that world. He gave me a peep and he said, Dada, this is all, are the opportunities available while you are working now. And that time, I took a golden handshake at the age of 56, and I met Shomujit about say 2013 or 14. That was about 11 years back. So he just gave me a peep, ki, Dada, this is what it is, and you can try this out. Why don't you try it out? Why don't you try it out? So I said, fine, let me try it out. So when I tried it out, my dad was there with me, so we all as a family tried it out gradually with him. And then when we started having the taste of it, and let me tell you, the taste of it was not always very sweet.
No.
We had the sour part of it also.
That Punjab National Bank thing happened just after we.
So that's the sour part of it also. So the markets went down, the volatility of the markets came in, and we were on the hindsight of the market. But Shomujit's, the strength he gave us. He kept on telling my dad and me that, Dada na, Mesho, please hold on, please hold on. I am telling you. And we used to trouble him at the dead of the night also. Sometimes maybe at the end of the night, you see a figure, and you get perturbed. Shomudi, that ki hoche, what is happening? Mesho, Dada, please relax. And today we realize that hindsight which I saw, and today the gains which is there, and again, now it doesn't give us those shivers at all. So, Shomujit is my, was our, let me tell you, that mentor, that guiding, angel who came into our lives, and he, gave us that full, a whole piece of this wealth management piece which is there, which we totally tend to ignore in our normal day-to-day work, and we hardly would have exposed to it. And like any other normal family, would have been into post offices and fixed deposits. I'm not criticizing that, but the inflation is growing. What is inflation? How would you manage your expenses? How would you plan your future? How would you see that your money grows more than inflation? How do you manage volatility? How can you manage inflation with volatility and not, get submerged into, that your capital is dying out and, the inflation is growing because of that. Inflation is growing and capital is dying. All that piece, that taking us from that. Shomojit has got a very famous example. I don't know, you must be aware that Dada, you are in the first gear today, and you are driving from. I was posted in Bombay, so he used to tell me Bombay to Pune drive coach, and you are in the first gear. So now he tells me you are in the automatic gear. You don't even ask me. So he said you change the gear system itself. So I said no, you are still there. No, I think you are in the automatic gear only. So you take your call. So that's the way. So we are really blessed to know Wealthapp and to know Shomojit, and he's a very fine gentleman. We have the highest and respects and regards for him, and we feel that his and let me tell you one thing more about Shomojit. He's attached to Sotheby's also. He's into the real estate business, and then sometimes my dad had some SBI issues. So it is not, he's a very helpful person. That's the best part of it. It is not that it is only wealth piece and nothing out of that. So you give him with any problem that some real estate issue, some SBI issue. So he is always there to help you out to that extra mile. He'll consider you as a family, that is it. So there, and now God bless, Wealthapp has grown so much. We have Devankar also in Delhi, and he's an excellent person. Since we are in Delhi and we have come to Calcutta, that's why I'm saying, because I tend to see him very less, Shomojit. Of course I can, but I don't bother him much because Devankar is there. So he is an extreme resource. Your resources are very good all across. And seeing the team today on this International Women's Day, here also we are placed. Although I know many members of your team from the past also. But it's been really feel best to know Wealthapp and Shomojit.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I would just like to wrap up this lovely session, as much as I hate to do that, with one last question to ma'am and sir, both of you. So, as sir said that back in 2013-14, when he probably came home and told you that there's this company and there's this thing that we are planning to do. So, how did you react to that? Were you skeptical about it, or what went through your mind during that time, ma'am, if you would like to?
Yes, I would like to reiterate this point that, as he said, throughout his life he has really worked hard and all that, and in those days they used to only put their money into LICs and mutual funds and all that. When Shomojit came up with this idea and he really sat down, made all those, that listing in the paper and all that. Actually, though I really, as I mentioned earlier, I hardly know much about or do about this financial planning and all that. but really that sounded much more interesting, and of course we should invest into that. Why not give it a try? So that was the thought, and of course we can put in a certain amount into this. And when we saw the results and all that, of course that was a great bonus and all that. So I always keep telling him till date. Now it has really, as he says, that according to Shomojit, now he's in the automatic gear. So, but I always keep mentioning the foremost credit of this goes to Shomojit. It started. He really introduced us into this field and into this whole plethora of.
We knew only FD before that.
That's what I would say, and we are ever thankful to Mr. Shomojit Ghosh. And now he's become a part of the family actually.
He's a part of the family.
He's a family actually.
He's none of the Delhi visits, I think, does not get
Finished.
completed without a session, evening session at our place. So he's like a family member, no doubt. Absolutely.
Thank you so
And
much.
wish you and Shomojit and everybody at Wealthapp excellent journey way forward. And you got doing a great job. You got a great social responsibility, because you know a country grows if the money grows and wealth grows of the people who are working hard for it. And let me tell you, organizations like Wealthapp have a major role to play in that, and prudent organizations.
You are a part of developing the prosperity of the people of this country. Remember this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you for sharing such lovely thoughts with us, and we are so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For having us here.
Thank you. And God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.